February 15th, 2025, 7:45 a.m. The city was just waking up, but the streets were already bustling with early commuters. A cold wind whipped down LaSalle Street, biting through even the thickest overcoats. People clutched their collars and braced against the gusts, their breath visible in the frigid air. The sky, a brooding gray, mirrored the mood of the city. It was as if the heavens themselves were warning of the turmoil to come. It was the heart of Chicago's financial district, a place where fortunes were made and lost every second. The buildings stood tall and imposing, symbols of power and ambition. Today, the air crackled with a different kind of tension, a silent storm brewing beneath the surface of the morning rush. The usual hustle and bustle seemed more frantic, more urgent. Among the hurried footsteps and steaming coffee cups, two figures stood out. Detective Marcus Johnson and his partner, Detective Lena Jackson. They were a familiar sight on these streets, known for their relentless pursuit of justice. Their faces were etched with concern, their eyes scanning the imposing facade of the First Chicago Bank, a monolith of glass and steel that seemed to pierce the overcast sky. The bank was a fortress, both in structure and in the secrets it held. Marcus, a seasoned detective with a quiet intensity, tightened his grip on his coffee, the warmth a small comfort against the growing unease in his gut. He had a sixth sense for trouble, and today it was screaming at him. He had seen enough crime scenes to know that something was very wrong. The signs were subtle, but unmistakable to a trained eye. Lena, known for her sharp wit and even sharper instincts, mirrored his concern. She had a knack for reading people and situations, and right now, everything felt off. Something felt off, the air thick with unspoken tension. The city was on edge, and the detectives knew they were about to uncover something big. Marcus and Lena weren't just partners. They were products of the very streets they now patrolled. Growing up in the South Side, they witnessed firsthand the disparity between dreams and reality, the struggle of their community against a system seemingly rigged against them. This shared history fueled their dedication to justice, their unwavering commitment to speaking for those whose voices were often silenced. Marcus, a man of few words but unwavering determination, had joined the force straight out of high school, driven by a deep-seated need to protect his community. Lena, on the other hand, had taken a detour through law school, her sharp intellect finding its calling in the intricacies of criminal justice. Their paths converged at the Chicago PD, two souls bound by a shared purpose. They were a formidable duo, their contrasting styles complementing each other perfectly. But even their combined experience couldn't have prepared them for the financial labyrinth they were about to unravel. The call had come in just an hour ago, sending shockwaves through the financial district and beyond. First Chicago Bank, a pillar of stability and trust, had become the victim of a brazen heist. But this wasn't your typical smash-and-grab robbery. This was a sophisticated operation, a silent theft that had siphoned millions from the bank's most secure accounts. No vaults were cracked, no alarms triggered. The perpetrators had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of digital breadcrumbs and a city holding its breath. The missing funds belonged to a community development fund, a lifeline for small businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs in Chicago's underserved neighborhoods. This wasn't just about stolen money, it was about stolen dreams. The audacity of the crime, the precision with which it was executed, and the choice of target, it all pointed to something bigger, something far more sinister than a simple act of greed. Days bled into weeks as Marcus and Lena tirelessly pursued every lead, every whisper, every digital phantom. They interviewed countless witnesses, from flustered bank employees to tech experts who spoke in a language that seemed almost alien. The more they dug, the more intricate the web became. Each clue seemed to lead to another dead end, each answer spawning a dozen more questions. The perpetrators, ghosts in the digital world, had covered their tracks with an expertise that both impressed and frustrated the detectives. The pressure mounted with each passing day, the weight of the stolen dreams and the city's anxiety pressing down on them. The investigation took them from the gleaming skyscrapers of the financial district to the dimly lit corners of the city's underbelly. They encountered informants whispering coded messages, tech wizards who spoke in algorithms, and former hackers trying to outrun their past. Just as the trail seemed to run cold, A glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected source. It was a moment that no one saw coming, a twist that would alter the course of the investigation. A young woman, an intern at a tech firm contracted by the bank, came forward with a story that would change everything. She was new, eager to prove herself, and had stumbled upon something extraordinary. She had noticed irregularities in the bank's security protocols, vulnerabilities that could be exploited by a skilled hacker. These were not just minor flaws, they were glaring holes that could lead to catastrophic breaches. When she reported her findings, she was met with indifference, her concerns dismissed as the naivete of a newcomer. Her colleagues brushed her off, unwilling to believe that someone so junior could uncover such critical issues. But something about the case, the sheer audacity of it, resonated with her own sense of justice. She couldn't let it go, driven by a determination to see the truth come to light. She couldn't shake off the feeling that she held a piece of the puzzle, a piece that could bring down the entire house of cards. It was a heavy burden, but one she was willing to carry. Her testimony, though initially met with skepticism, provided Marcus and Lena with a new angle, a fresh set of eyes on a case that had grown increasingly complex. Her insights were invaluable, offering a perspective they hadn't considered. The intern's information led them to a series of encrypted messages hidden in plain sight within the bank's own systems. These messages were the key to unraveling the mystery, a breakthrough that reignited their pursuit of justice. The messages, once deciphered, unveiled a shocking truth. Hidden within the complex code was a revelation that no one saw coming. The mastermind behind the heist wasn't some shadowy figure lurking in the darkest corners of the internet. Instead, it was someone who operated in plain sight. It was someone far closer to home, someone who moved among them, someone they trusted. This person had built a facade of trust and reliability. The revelation sent shockwaves through the investigation. Detectives and investigators were left reeling, trying to piece together how they had been so thoroughly deceived. The clues, once scattered and meaningless, now snapped into focus, painting a chilling picture of betrayal and deceit. Each piece of evidence now told a story of calculated manipulation. The architect of this elaborate scheme was none other than the bank's own CEO, a man who had been above suspicion, a man hailed as a pillar of the community, someone who was seen as a role model and a leader, a champion of small businesses, always present at community events and celebrations. A philanthropist lauded for his contributions to the very fund he had so ruthlessly plundered. His public persona was a stark contrast to his hidden motives. His motive, as twisted as it was simple, stemmed from an insatiable greed, a desire that knew no bounds, a desire to maintain his lavish lifestyle even as his investments crumbled around him. The pressure to uphold his image drove him to desperate measures. He had used his position of power to exploit the very people he pretended to champion, manipulating them with a smile, stealing from the community he swore to uplift. The betrayal was felt deeply, leaving a scar that would take years to heal. The arrest of the CEO sent shockwaves through Chicago, shaking the city's faith in its institutions and the very fabric of its community. The stolen funds were recovered, but the damage had been done. The trust, once broken, proved difficult to mend. Marcus and Lena, though hailed as heroes, found little solace in the victory. They had brought a criminal to justice, but the experience left an indelible mark, a bitter reminder of the deep-seated inequalities that plagued their city. The case, though officially closed, continued to haunt them, a stark reminder that even in the pursuit of justice, there are often more questions than answers. The Chicago finance enigma, as it came to be known, served as a stark reminder that even in the heart of a bustling metropolis, shadows lurk, and no one, not even those entrusted with our dreams, is above suspicion.
To the channel where mystery meets obsession. I break down chilling cases, shocking twists, and unsolved stories you won't stop thinking about.
Unsolved mysteries. Missing. Disclaimer. The crime stories shared on this channel are fictional and created purely for entertainment purposes. Viewer discretion is advised, as the themes may still include sensitive or suspenseful content. Watch as I bring you thrilling tales. Well, thanks for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an upload.